Hey y'all, welcome back to Chat with Coach Amy. I haven't recorded a podcast in a minute,
Yeah.
but I'm here with Jessica Ian, and I'm so happy to have you.
I'm glad to be here.
Your face looks so trim.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
It's just all of a sudden, just like
It didn't look like that when I talked to you a few weeks ago.
it
Just
didn't.
saying. Oh my stars and stripes. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's been recent all of a sudden. Plus, I've done 2 fun fuel cycles, so that's
Yes,
me.
you have. Yes, you have. I'm on my, I think, eighth one. I started today. I guess we can talk a little bit about that in a minute. We'll share our secrets.
Yeah, we can.
Tell us about yourself, please.
I am 40, about to turn 41, and I have two young girls, 4 and 8. And my husband is insurance agent, health insurance, and we live in
Wow.
Oregon.
Yeah.
So clear over here on the coast.
We are very far away from each other.
Yes, yes, we are. And there aren't very many people in the group who are anywhere near. I think there's one in Washington, and I think there's one more in Oregon, but I think that's it. We have been married for 15 years, and in fact, I started Blooms with you 2 years ago on our anniversary, on our 13th
Aww.
anniversary. So it's easy for me to remember.
Oh, yeah. I love that. Did you start at Buds or Blooms 2 years ago?
Buds. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I started with
That's
Buds.
okay. That's okay.
Yeah, and let's see, I did work before kids, got a master's degree and everything, and now I am a homeschool mom. My daughter had a spinal tether release 2 years ago, and then the symptoms have all come back, but they say it's not a spinal tether issue anymore. So we're doing a lot of doctor's appointments and therapies right now. They're like neurological type symptoms. So we decided to homeschool this year at least. Figured we'd give it a try and see how it goes. And it's giving us the flexibility we need for all of our therapies.
Right. What's her name?
Everly.
Everly. We will be praying for Everly.
Thank you.
And you, Mama, because I cannot imagine. Wes and I, we watch Grey's Anatomy every evening. We're rewatching it. And we look at each other all the time and we're like, the boys drive us crazy. We're so grateful that at this point we haven't had any major health things because it's wild. And things happen, accidents and things. And then you've got things like you guys have dealt with. That is huge.
I think the craziest part is just the having to investigate and not know
and be her advocate.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Constantly, because the doctors don't talk to each other.
Oh, that is so frustrating.
So anyway,
y'all,
that's what
y'all have like a solid plan and everything, you think?
We have an appointment to see a neurologist, and that's next. So we've ruled some things out, and
that's good.
We're just doing therapy while we're waiting to see the neurologist.
Bless her heart.
Yeah.
Well, keep you guys in our prayers. Excuse me.
Thank you.
That's a really, really big deal. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. It's a big part of my journey, I think. All of that came during a very stressful time. I mean, it was 2020 and I was pregnant with my youngest, and then I ended up being on bed rest.
Oh, of course. 2020, just hard things.
After we had already figured out she was going to have surgery, my husband had like a grand mal seizure and was out for a long time. And then she had the surgery, and then we decided to make a change with our churches. We were on staff, and then we decided to do something different and move to another church. And all of that happened in like a year span. And it was at that time where I started like self-medicating with sugar. And so it was just post-baby, and, started having 2 maple bars at a time to make myself feel better. And then I started getting headaches, and like I already had, I was already not like the healthiest diet, but that was really the top of it. And then in November 2022, I was like, I have to do something different. I have this baby and I've got this girl who's got all these health problems, and I have to be healthy. I have
Yeah.
to be healthy. And so that's, I just said, I think Amy's got it. I think she's, and you were like, on Facebook and YouTube, you were making meals for your family and figuring it out and talking about your kids. And so I knew that you were the right coach for me for that.
Oh,
And you liked Friends and you love Jesus
yes.
at the same time.
Yes.
So
Yes,
it
I
was
do
like
at the same time. I
at the
even
same
drink
time,
alcohol sometimes and it's okay.
like, she's a pretty balanced person. So that's why I ended up going with you for like the family aspect of it.
Oh, thank you for telling me that.
Yeah.
It always makes me want to cry. Like for real. When
Now
I
they're
get
all growing up. Your kids are all growing up now.
oh
So
my gosh, they're so big. What the world? I have gotten in signed up with a business coach, and I talked to one of his associates. Like they have some interview processes, which they should. I do too. I interview people before I work with them one on one.
yeah.
So he was just a talking, and he was like, "Well, tell me about your family." And I said, "Well, we have 5 children," and he was like, "What?" And then I said, "Yeah, okay, the oldest two are in college." And I was about to say about Katie was home. And I couldn't even, I don't think I ever said anything about Katie Camp and Knox because he got so fixated on that. I had 2 children in college. He was like, "Okay, uh, how old are you? I'm not supposed to, I know I'm not supposed to ask this." And I'm like, "Oh no, you're making me feel so great." So I told him, and you probably get that too. I mean, like your face, like, it's working. It's working. But isn't that so fun?
Yeah.
Fun.
It's
I love
really fun.
psyching people out. How old do you think
Well,
I am?
especially since I have the young kids and I am almost 41. Like, I don't know. I really just feel like I don't have a choice. I have to be healthy because, I want to be able to run around with them, see my
Your
kids.
why is so strong. It's
Yeah.
so strong. Mine is I don't want to land on that couch again unless it's my choice to take a little rest. And then I can't even sit there long enough because I'm like, I got stuff to do and things to think about. And da, 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 da. And Wes is like, get on the couch and be still. But that's my why and that's yours. And it's strong. It's strong. That's so good. And I
Yeah.
know you want to be a good role model for your girls.
Yeah, I for sure. I was thinking this morning, I was thinking about things I could say, and I was remembering like one of my earliest memories of elementary school was when the nurse brought the scale into my second grade classroom
Oh my.
and weighed us all in front of everybody. And of course, they were like not announcing the weight, but I
Right.
remember her, I was in second grade, and I remember her saying that I was 99 pounds, and the girl sitting there
Oh
yelled,
my.
"You weigh 99 pounds." And
Wow.
I am very tall. I'm 5'9".
I is not.
Always, I've always been very tall. And so a 99-pound second grader who's very tall is very different than most second graders. And I
Right.
know that now, but then I didn't. I just knew
Yeah.
that everybody
Well,
was
some
laughing.
girl made fun of you,
Yes,
whether she
exactly.
was really meaning to or just like
Yeah,
didn't mean to, but
yeah.
oh,
So that memory, I think, really shaped me as I was growing up.
I'm
And
sure.
I was a kid. I liked sugar and
Oh,
I liked to eat.
it's very normal.
Yeah, especially in the 90s. I mean, the diet culture was strong. So, you eat all the candy bars and then you don't eat the rest of the day and everything's fine.
Right.
And so when I was in high school, I had a lot of headaches because I was dieting all the time, but I was also gorging, eating lots of sugar or whatever. So um, I had no idea why I was getting headaches.
So
And
I'm sure the
I,
balance of THM has just changed everything for you.
I have not had a headache in a long time until the fun fuel cycle.
Your body was stripping itself of excess glucose.
Yeah, the first round on D-Best day, I got a headache, and it was like a migraine. I was really out of it. Um, and the second time, I did not get a headache once. So it made me really, I was
Yep.
really feeling like, oh, maybe this just isn't for me. And then on the live Q&A, you said, oh, you really needed that. And I went,
Yep.
oh, I needed that.
Yeah.
So I was really happy
And
to
look at you.
do
I'm
it
still
again.
flabbergasted. I'm sorry. I know I keep bringing it up, but like It's amazing, the chiseling that's
I
happening.
total in the 2 years, I've lost just under 48 pounds now.
Wow. Wow.
So it's interesting though, because I want to say this because everybody's so different and I'm tall. Like Hillary, you put on her thing that she's lost multiple sizes and about 50 pounds. And I have gone down one pant size with 50 pounds. Um,
Wow.
so because of my height, everything just is distributed differently. So I want people to know that it's so different for every person and
Oh,
how your body loses weight.
right. That's right. And everybody's so different, period.
Yes.
Comparison game is just stop it. Stop it. All across the board. Weight, house, relationship, attitude,
Yeah.
success. Stop it. Just be happy and cheer for her.
Yes. Well, we've each
Oh,
been given our own um, job.
yeah.
God's given us our own job and our own
Like, yeah.
skills, and the Holy Spirit gives us our those each individual giftings and our place in life to use at
Yep.
that time. And it changes too. Your job
Yep.
changes. My job 5 years ago is not the same job I have today. And
Yeah.
so,
Amen. Me too. We switched.
yes.
We got to switch.
Yeah,
That's
because you homeschool too, right?
I did. Yeah. Katie's still homeschooling herself up there. Bless her.
Oh, it's a big job.
You'll get to where they're homeschooling themselves, though.
Yeah.
I was pretty proud of that because people still look at me like I'm crazy town when I say, "Oh no, the girls homeschool themselves," and I'm like, "That's the ultimate to me." Whatever, y'all do your own thing, but to me, that's like the ultimate goal of a homeschool mom is to work yourself out of a job.
Yeah.
That they're so self motivated they can just handle it.
Because
Now,
that's how they go to college and then they're successful.
yeah, homeschool mom, you're not
Yeah.
supposed to go with them to college or in their job.
Yep.
Let them go. And Lily graduated a year early. Bella finished her semester early and did dual enrollment. She wasn't really doing homeschool, but it was fine. And now like her semester starting in January for Bella will be her last semester at college, the community college we have here. And it's all online classes. Like none of the
Wow.
ones because she has so many credits. She really doesn't need the classes she's taking, but she has to so she can do her extracurriculars, which it's fine. She's like, I'll learn some stuff. It'll be fine, but they're all online. So she'll just be doing her stuff. She'll have 2 jobs and her extracurriculars and
Busy, busy.
you go,
Like
girl. Like a little Amy. Let's not tell her that. I
you.
don't know how she'd take it. But yeah, it grows them and I think it's a beautiful thing. So whether y'all continue homeschooling or not, it's whatever God has for you. There's no right or wrong across the board. It's just like, is that God's will for your life,
Yeah.
Mm, that's
For the
good.
season.
Yeah.
I've always felt like it depended on the child in the season. And I never thought I would be a homeschool mom because I
Me
grew up in
neither.
school. I went to public school and private Christian school, but I never thought it would be me, but here we are.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Well, I'm thankful that God has been faithful and provided what you guys needed because you had to stop your job to do these different things, and so that's a budget situation that has to be handled
Yes.
by you as well. That's amazing. I love that. Well, so you came to Buds. Did you know about THM at that point?
Yeah, in like 2016, I had kind of seen some stuff on Pinterest. I was very much low carb all the time. Like, oh, that's probably the way to go. Have lost and gained weight so much. I did, counted points. I did things where you checked off little bubbles, and I even did the one where you eat the shakes and the bars every few hours, and you have 5 of those in a protein and green meal. So
Yes.
I was so unhealthy at the end of that one, by the way. I
Hard to
lost
recover
100
from.
pounds, but I was very, very unhealthy. And in fact, I don't think it was related to this, but at the same time I hit 100 pounds, I found out I was pregnant for the first time. And then I had a miscarriage. And I don't think they were related because of, other reasons we found out. But my body was so unhealthy that it couldn't recover very well. And we found out that I was going to lose the pregnancy, and we went away for the weekend. And when we got back, I stepped on the scale, and having just eating real food, I had gained 14 pounds in a weekend. And to me, that's just like,
Wow.
yes, my body was, reeling, but also it had not eaten like real food. And so it did not know what to do. And I want my
That's
body to know what to do with food.
yes. Yeah.
So I was very, very unhealthy.
That is
And
one of the things I love about THM is that I can go to the grocery store and get everything that I need to fuel my body. Now, yes, I use all the THM powders and yes, I do. Yes, I do. But I don't have to.
yeah,
I don't have to. I love that so much.
like the other day you said you needed a snack. So you stopped at Aldi and got vegetables and a meat stick and, and like, yes, that's real food.
Yep. Real live food. I was
Yeah.
in town and I couldn't get anything, so I just got hamburger and fries. Wrong.
Yeah.
You can still go into a grocery store without buying groceries.
Yeah.
Nobody
And
knows.
for me, that is something that's so important to teach my kids too. Um, I, I, and like you said, like that has been such a big deal for me is teaching them how to fuel their bodies and to use that language. And when we talk about food and that this is a lifetime thing that we have to fuel our bodies so that it works well and we have energy for
Got
what
gas in
we
the
need.
tank. Yeah.
The other day, my youngest, Eloise, she came in the bathroom and interrupted me as 4-year-old do. And she was carrying a bowl that had a turkey hot dog in it. And it was cut up in little pieces. She'd gotten the plastic knife out and cut it up for herself. And I said, well, dinner's in the oven. It's almost ready. What are you doing? And she said, Mom, I need some fuel.
God love her little heart. Tell her I said I'm so proud.
She's so cute. She's gobbling it all up. I was listening to the Marco Polo with my breakthrough group, and we're very active on Marco Polo. We talk to each other all the time, and I turned it off and she said, Mom, who are those people? And I said, oh, they're my friends. And she said, so are you guys talking about eating like, oh, this is what I ate, I feel good, I'm eating good food, how are you? I said, yes, that's exactly what we're doing. So it just made me so happy that I've got a group of people that are all in the same mindset that I can let my kids listen to it. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's a
I
blessing.
love that. I love that. So to give the listeners some context, we'll talk about the fun fuel cycle. And before we do that though, so Jessica did buds 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And she's been in Blooms ever since. So when you do buds, you have an invitation to come into Blooms, and it's changed a little bit over the years, but essentially she's never left. God love her. And a few months ago, I started breakthrough groups for my Blooms community. And so she's in one of those. And who's your leader?
Linda.
Oh, Linda. I love Linda.
She's
So
amazing.
they have a darling little group and so Blooms has about 260 people in it. And I knew there needed to be some smaller little groups in there. And so
Mhm.
we came instead of breakout groups, we're breakthrough groups because I want y'all to use those to have breakthroughs. And I asked different ladies to lead those groups, and some use the chat in Mighty Network, some use the post, some use Marco, some use all of them. I don't care as long as you are participating and loving on each other, and that is what y'all doing. So good job. What group number are y'all?
Breakthrough group 1.
Oh yeah, go ahead, group 1. I love it. Well, thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that. So, on the fun fuel cycle, I had personally been going through a weight gain. I realized that I had gained some weight and that I was like, what in the world is going on? And so I reached out to my friend, Coach Chris. She's the head coach with Trim Healthy Mama. And we talk a lot. She's just darling and very special to me. And I was like, can I ask you a coaching question? And we kind of bounce stuff off from each other from time to time. So it wasn't that weird or, too much to ask. And I just told her, I was like, my body fat has gone up a couple of percents and I'm not stressed out about it, but I know it's not right because I know, like, I'm not like, I know how to do my job. Like, I know what to do if it was someone else. And I've done all those things. And so she was like, yeah, let me look at your food and some of your habits. And she's like, girl, you're on point. Like everything is, I was like, I know. So like what? And she goes, well, years ago, I would have said do a fuel cycle, but the sisters have said that is not such a great idea because you go 4 days without carbs. And Amy really isn't signed up for that. No thanks. So my adrenals, I finally got them happy.
Yeah.
I stopped going to CrossFit, and that's helped too, but because of the timing. But so she recommended me doing a mini version of that, and Pearl has approved it. So essentially, you're doing a mini version of the fuel cycle. And this has been approved by Trim Healthy. So if you want more details, you just need to listen right here because I'm going to give you the basics of it. I don't really have anything else, but if you want to reach out to Coach Chris, you sure can. If you're in blooms and you've had your head in the sand, there's information there. But other than that, I don't have any other resources for you. But Deep S is day one, all day Deep S. You can throw a fuel pull in there, but it needs to follow Deep S rules. If you don't know the higher learning of THM, you can check that out somewhere on the interwebs. And then the next day is E. You can have a fuel pull, but the next day is fuel pull day. And on that one, I will say, make sure you fuel every 2.5 hours if possible. We want lots of non-starchy veggies. We want to make sure our protein's on point, stay hydrated. And then you just freestyle for a few days. What we're doing in Blooms, most of us, is we're doing it weekly. I did skip 1 week, but for 2 months, I've done the fun fuel cycle Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, most of the time. And then Thursday through Sunday. Is that right? Yes. I freestyle. So I've lost 5 pounds, which is a lot for a 5'2" girl, but I have not lost any muscle mass. And that means I burned the fat that I did not need. I think I was becoming a little insulin resistant, which you were too, if that Deep S day made you feel like it did. And it's
Yeah.
not easy. It's not easy, but I think the accountability that we have within Blooms has been a beautiful way for us to kind of troubleshoot and also stay true to those goals that we have for ourselves. And not everybody, I did a little poll because somebody was like, everybody's doing the fun fuel cycle. Had several people say that. I'm like, no, they're not. So I did a poll to prove my point. But there were a lot that have done it multiple times. Darlene my assistant has done it. She's on her 8th week or 9th week, maybe. I don't know. I lose count. But she's lost, I want to say 15 pounds. And she had been,
Wow.
she'd been gaining steadily and very frustrated. And I was too, because I'm like, I couldn't do this without her. And I'm trying to figure out ways to help. And I was like, Chris told me about this fun fuel cycle on a Tuesday. I was on a walk when I listened to her Marco, and I immediately Marco Darlene. I'm like, do you want to do this with me? She was like, heck yeah. And I'm like, I'm not going to the grocery store. We're just going to make this happen. She's like, let's do it. And we did. We did. So that is the background of the fun fuel cycle.
I gained the first time I did it. I had gained 1 pound at the end, and the next day I was up 2 more pounds. So I overall 3 pounds the first time. But
so I think your fat cells were filling with water.
Yes.
Yes.
And then I went back to just normal freestyling. I do the slimming cycle most of the time.
Yep.
Really try and get in that FP snack. And then this week I finished it, I did it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday last week.
Okay.
I lost 3 pounds.
Got to give it time.
Yeah. And so
that 3 pounds from your initial starting weight from the beginning of your first fun fuel cycle?
No, 3 pounds from where I was. I had lost several more pounds in between.
Wow.
So I do think it was continuing to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was really trying that end of that first fuel cycle. I was really trying to get to 45, having lost 45, because I was ending it on the same day as my 2 years with.
Yep.
And I didn't reach it because I gained weight. But now I am at like 48. So it's exciting.
Somebody's about to get a 50-pound sticker from me.
I'm very excited.
One to Oregon. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
That's exciting. I love sending those milestone stickers to y'all.
It's very fun. We were talking in our breakthrough group about what we were going to do with them, because everybody's getting stickers right now. And I think some of us are going to make magnets out of them so we can put them on the fridge, because you can buy magnet paper to put a sticker on and cut it out. So I think that's what I'm going to do with mine.
I love it. I love it. A lot of them put them on their like Southern and Healthy cups or whatever cups they might have. But
yeah.
I like your idea too. It's excellent. That's so awesome.
I'll use it to keep my tracker. I laminated my tracker and put it on the fridge, and then I use a dry erase marker.
Very good.
That way when I'm eating, and then I can write it down and know right what I'm doing.
You are the amazing example in Coach Amy's opinion of what happens when a group client participates and like does what she's learning. I
Now I
mean,
always watch the lives. Now I try and get on the lives in the kitchen. Since I started homeschooling, that's been more difficult.
yeah.
But um, the live Q&A is really difficult for me to get to live, but I
Well,
watch
your time is weird
replay.
because you're 2 hours behind. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like dinner time, and I'm like, ah. But I do watch the replays most of the time. So
Good. Yeah. I'm super proud of you.
thank
Like for
you.
real. For real. And
I do.
are you do you have food? Do you have dairy free or gluten free?
Yeah, my family is both dairy free and gluten free. All of my husband and my girls are. And then I have cut out dairy because it makes me break out when I eat it. You know, still have it once in a while,
Sure.
but that's really difficult for getting in, especially like the lean protein. I can't do cottage cheese. I can't do the Greek yogurt. I have found a dairy free Greek yogurt that I can use, but it's not fuelable, and it doesn't have protein in it. So I mostly just use it for like making the Bam cake muffins, and we make those all the time, and we add blueberries. It's a blueberry
Nice.
muffin, and my girls love them. The whole family eats them. It's good.
That's awesome. Yeah, so for the past, I would guess 7 maybe 7 or 8 weeks, I haven't had dairy except for I did have my cheesecake that I made in my fall master class.
How
I
is
did.
it affecting you, do you think?
It was what did you say?
Going dairy free, how's it affecting you?
Oh, wonderfully. Like I believe it's something I need to do. Like I haven't had cottage cheese or Greek yogurt. The only dairy that I've had, I had queso the last night of the Georgia retreat, my Bloom's retreat in Georgia. I had chips and queso. I hadn't had corn or dairy until that moment. Since I
Yeah.
started my low FODMAP. I don't know, I lose track, but it had been a minute. And then did have the cheesecake that I made in my fall master class. It was a Glenda Groff's cranberry no bake cheesecake. It
Yeah.
was amazing. But I did not feel the bloating that I had felt before. But I imagine if I continue to have it daily or multiple times a day, I think it would creep up and catch up with me. So I'm just keeping my nose clean and just living my best life with the Trim Healthy Mama optimized powders and going on about my business. Can you use their whey?
I have not tried the whey because of the dairy aspect. I have just been using actually integral collagen. Um, I was going to buy the optimized, and then I decided just to start eating meat with it.
Yep. Yep.
So I've been in for my fuel pull.
That's very efficient. I mean, it works. It
I've been
works. Yeah.
doing like a turkey chomp stick because it's 3.5 grams of fat, and then a collagen coffee. So and I don't know if that's enough for the
It's
bolus or
close.
whatever it's called, but I'm trying.
It's okay. Not every, like I said, not comparison. It's not everybody's goal either.
Yeah.
I have used their optimized whey this entire time, low FODMAP or not, and I've not had one area problem. So I did have that as dairy, but all the lactose is pulled out. So that's
Yeah,
what,
I
yeah.
may have to try that then.
Well, if you don't like it, you can send the rest to 1093 Lakeview Drive, Summit.
Uh, got it.
I love it. We're about out of time. Is there anything else you wanted to share with us about your story?
Um, I want to thank my breakthrough group. I mean,
Mm,
I've learned so much from you, and haven't been losing weight this whole time, but so much of this time has been just establishing good habits,
yeah.
and that mental shift of, if you go off plan, you don't have to keep going off plan. Um, the sisters posted a reel a few days
Yeah.
ago. It was so funny, and I sent it to
Yeah.
everyone I know because it was like, this is what we do.
Right.
But that mental shift has been such a big deal for me. And now that I have all the education, and now that it's becoming second nature to choose on plan things, now I'm in the groove of being able to make the optimal choices. And
Right.
it has taken me this long to be able to be healthy in this way. And now it feels second nature. And obviously, I still want to eat off plan things sometimes, but I
Sure,
don't
me
feel
too.
good when I do.
Right.
Um, so it feels like I've finally reached a point where it's second nature, and now I can make those tweaks. So
Yeah.
thank you for my breakthrough group for looking at my meals because we all look at each other's meals, and that accountability is a huge deal. So if you're not in a breakthrough group and your breakthrough group is not active, I would recommend getting active because it's been so helpful for me.
Yeah, I love that. That's so good. And that goes in with my theme for 2025, all in,
Mm,
because and I kind of it just came out of my mouth one day during a podcast with I think Darlene. You know, a lot of people are so all or nothing and they just burn all their bridges and set the woods on fire and go headfirst into all the bad things because of
me,
one simple mistake.
yeah,
And um I just want a mindset shift to happen across the whole world, you know, that you don't, I mean, my reach isn't that big, but it could be. Just for people to know that you don't have to do that. You can be what I call all in. Because even if, just like you said, even if you make a mistake, you can just jump right back on. I mean, that is a huge backbone to Trim Healthy Mama.
yeah.
You go off plan, you reset the next fueling, but people miss it, they forget it. And so I'm about to beat that in people's heads in 2025. If I could, I told Darlene, if I could put that into a powder and get people to shake it up and drink it, I would. But what I can do is just talk about it a lot. And I'm glad that you finally got that for
There's
yourself.
so much freedom in that. There's so
Yeah.
much freedom in knowing, oh, I made this one choice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
my
even
next
for 100 strong, I mean, for several years, my 100 strong was to be 100% on plan. But this year, I'm going to the New York City, man. And I might wanna. I
yeah,
probably won't, but I might.
you might.
I might. And I want to give myself that time. And even next year at Christmas, I won't be going to New York City. But I might decide to have a tea cake, which is a great tradition that my family has, is to have those little cookies. And,
Mhm.
I might, and it's okay. It doesn't mean that I'm not a trim healthy mama. It doesn't mean that I don't keep promises to myself. One of my main tips in holiday, is to plan ahead. If you know you're going to have Aunt Susie Q's amazing dessert, maybe your meal could be on plan and that portion of that dessert is not. Who gives
Right.
a flip?
It doesn't have the whole meal. It can
No.
just be that one choice. We talked about that in our breakthrough group that um, you you can choose to go off plan for a specific thing. It doesn't have to snowball.
That's right. I love that. Oh, that's so good. Was there anything else you wanted to share?
No, I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. We had a free call for something. I don't know what you won,
What
but she won something and we had a call and I'm just like, we should be recording this whole thing because it was just, she was like, I just want to tell you what Southern Healthy's done for me and what I've been able to do. And then I'm like, oh, I wish I was recording this. It's so good. So we finally figured out a time for her to come on. So thank you so much. I hope that this blessed all y'all's hearts and that y'all have a great week. Y'all tell them bye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.